Dare to Share challenge. I am so excited because we've got another amazing guest with us today, Sara McCready. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, Claire. So excited to have this conversation with you.
I'm so excited as well. And Sara has asked me specifically not to tell her what we are doing. So you are in for a treat because it's just going to be off the cuff.
Yes,
You
the
don't know what
best
you've
way.
let yourself in for, Sara.
Sure, I have. I know you. It's going to be
No, I love it.
amazing and it's going to be introspective. And yeah, it's going to be really
It
powerful.
is. It absolutely is. And for you guys watching, if you have stumbled across this and you are like, what is going on? What is this show? Dare to Share what? The Dare to Share challenge was born through the Real and the Raw Leaders movement, and it's all about showcasing the human behind the perception. So leaders that get pedestaled, leaders that get idolized, and we just think that they're these superhumans that have everything together and they don't have any problems, any fears, any doubts, any insecurities, any imposter syndrome. And actually, it's not true because we're all humans. And the more leaders that show that and that share that and that dare to share that, the more we empower and inspire everyone else watching that you can do it too, that you can go after your dreams, that you can play bigger, that you can achieve a life that you truly desire. Because if they can do it whilst having all of these niggling doubts and all of these obstacles and all of these hurdles, then so can you. So let's dive in, shall we?
Yes, let's go.
Sara, before we get into the juice, I need to ask you which level of vulnerability you are going to opt for. So we have two levels. We have the stretchy level, which is your hero's journey. It's something that you've overcome in your life. It's a story that needs to be told, right? Or you can go extreme. And extreme vulnerability is about something that you're navigating in real time. It's something that you haven't got the other side of yet, and it's real and raw for you right now. So which level would you like to opt for today?
Yeah, let's go extreme.
She's going extreme! Let's go. Okay. Let's dive in. So, two questions for you, Sara. The first one is, what does being a real and a raw leader mean to you? And we're not just talking about business here, right? Because this is about the human. So, as a human, as an individual, as a woman in your own right, that realness and that rawness, what does it really mean to you in your everyday life?
Yeah, this is actually such a great question because there is so much a part of us that is the business. And it's going on 4 years for me now. And it's taking me this long to really understand that it is one and the same, that there is no separation, that I am the business. And showing up for yourself as a leader is really what this journey of entrepreneurship, being a CEO, being a founder, female founder has been about. I'm going to probably segue a little bit here into the next question. Having gone through 4 separate toxic relationships over a 25-year period of my life and coming out of that 4th and final one in the absolute breakdown for the breakthrough, the dark night of the soul. Going through that, I thought there wasn't anything that I needed left to heal. I had moved through it and it was resolved, dissolved, understood, and forgiven. What I've learned as a female founder, CEO, entrepreneur is that there is so much more, and this is where the vulnerability comes in. There is so much more unearthing to be done as you're growing your business. You use the word stretchy. It expands you and it moves you and it brings you to your knees. And there's so much that happens that unless you're going through it, you have no context for it. There's no nothing has prepared me for what this journey has been the last 4 years.
Mm.
And 2 years ago, I was recognizing the additional growth that I was going through. And I was understanding that this really is creating your business in whatever capacity it is, whether it's a service or a product. It is an extension of your emotional healing journey. And as we say, Claire, it is a journey, not a destination. And so I think in the early days, there was this expectation that I was going to arrive somewhere and that was going to be it. And I was going to be all good. And yeah, you're like, oh yeah, I know what that feels like.
Oh yeah.
I truly thought there was like this end point that I was aiming for. And what
it's called a deathbed, just FYI.
Yeah, right. Exactly. When I'm on the other side of the grass, not this side. Yeah. So having that misconception or misperception about what it was that I was doing here led to this being on the hamster wheel. Like you were describing, I read something, probably an old post that you had done recently, and you had shared about how your mentor asked you if you were happy, like you were, you were killing it and you were winning and it was going well, and then you realized you weren't happy. I think for me that TSN turning point was recognizing that there isn't a destination, that this truly is a journey. And when you become a mentor, a coach, when you're leading other women, you are calling on the parts of yourselves that you've never examined before. You must step into your highest level of leadership in order to lead others. And so what's happening for me in the here and the now, so moving into the second part of your question here.
Hold on, I haven't asked you yet.
What is it that I'm dealing with? And it is the knowingness. It is knowing the value and my worth and what it is that I bring to the table. So at the core of the toxic relationship experience for me and for my clients and for pretty much anyone who has experienced those toxic relationships, and you and I have chatted about this, I think on an IG Live actually, is that there is low or no self-worth, but it's not identified as low or no self-worth because we have oodles of confidence. So we're mistaking our confidence for self-worth, and confidence does not equal self-worth. And so what has been happening for me the last 2 years is starting to reveal the deeper layers of my worth, but embodying them and acknowledging them and owning them. That's the distinction. Not just like, oh yeah, I'm valuable and worthy. It's not just a cognitive knowing. It is embodying your full value, your full measure, your full worth. You are worthy. You are worthy because you are. But learning to embody that and carry yourself in that knowingness, that is part of the journey. And so for me, it's really been, I think you were talking a little bit ago about that visibility piece, right? And learning to be visible, learning to show up, lead first. You go first is kind of one of my mantras. And so continuing to push myself to be out there, to be on the edge, to go first and show up, because I know when I'm showing up, as scary as it is sometimes, and it is, there's been times where I've had to really do the self work to be able to show up fully, and that inner work. And that's kind of a constant, really. There's always that inner dialogue where I am always having that introspection, always clocking my behavior. When there is something that I'm resisting, catching it and asking myself what's really underneath of that. If there's fear that comes up, questioning what is the motivation or what is the underlying, what's the root of that actual fear. And so, yeah, you go first, you lead first. And when we do that, when we're doing our inner work, when we're continuing on the journey and not seeking a destination, when we are embodying our feminine leadership and being fully in our power, that is when you are able to continue to be the beacon for others. And it's not until you have continued to do that work inside, to do that self-reflection, to clear and heal and resolve and dissolve for yourself before you're able to do that for others.
I love that. So I don't even need to ask you what you're willing to share today because you went into it. But I love this so much, and I hope you guys watching got out what Sara was saying there. I know she went straight into the dead share, but what she's saying is we're never fully healed, right? Healing is an ongoing journey, and it's something that we constantly have to do. But just because we're healing, it doesn't mean that we're unable to be of service or to help others or to grow or to expand or to make an impact in the world. It's, I like to say, Sara, and I know we've discussed this before, it's that power in the messy middle, you know, because we're never at a destination. We're never at this, you know, the term mastery is used so frivolously. And personally, I don't truly believe we're ever masters of anything. There's always more to learn. There's always more growth. There's always more expansion. And to think otherwise is pretty arrogant of ourselves. And so the messy middle is where we're all at right now. And embracing that and knowing that you are enough. You are enough right now. Despite your past, despite whatever you may have been through, whether you've been in abusive relationships or not, we all have that lack of self-worth sometimes, right? And it's continuing to show up as you're doing the work. Did I extract that right from your Dare to Share, Sara?
It's brilliant. And I want to touch on two things if we have time. You talked about always healing and mastery. I believe that thinking of it as always healing is a bit of a mirage. Because when we are looking at it as, oh, I'm still not healed, I'm still healing, then we are really setting ourselves up for failure, because we are, by default, I'm still healing, denotes that there's like somewhere you're supposed to be ending up at or going. So rather than viewing it as I'm still healing, shifting the perspective to this is the journey. This is
Yes, I love that. That is so powerful. You guys watching, did you hear how she just changed that? We're talking about the same thing, but just that difference in how you view it, right? That perception. You can say you're always healing, and like Sara just said, but then where are you going? Or you realize that this is the here and now, this is the journey. Beautiful. I love that.
Yes. And I 100% agree with what you said about mastery. There is no mastery. We are again, continually learning and growing and shifting and changing and evolving. And to master something, to what you were saying earlier, well, that means you've completed it, and that means you're most likely no longer here.
And we go back to the deathbed scenario.
we're on the underside of the grass, not the top side of the grass.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, what an amazing Dare to Share, Sara. This is amazing. Sorry, I was cutting you off then. Were you going to say something?
Well, again, just about mastery, I'm just thinking about in metaphysics and spiritual world, we talk about ascended masters. And mastery is when you have moved on to another dimension, another level. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. This is so powerful. Now, Sarah, before we go, I would love you to share with everyone what amazing magic you bring into the world, where everyone can find you. It will all be in the show notes anyway, but just as an extra added for you guys, please tell us where everyone can find you and the beauty that you bring into the world.
Well, my business name is Illuminated Joy. And so I am on all social platforms at Illuminated Joy. Illuminatedjoy.com is the website, and you can connect with me through there. And yeah, there is so much transformation, so much healing, so much journeying to be done that the magic that I bring into the world is guiding women, mentoring women through their experience of healing and moving into that peace, clarity, ease, and joy.
Beautiful. I love it. Sarah, thank you so much for taking to the stage, for being brave, for being courageous, and for daring to share your own story, your own journey, your own vulnerability with us all today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And for all you guys watching, I will see you tomorrow for the next Dare to Share.